Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, how much energy do I spend focusing on others, arguing, comparing, or seeking their approval? Imagine what your life might look like if you redirected that energy inward. What could you achieve if you stopped being consumed by the noise around you and instead cultivated the quiet strength within? We live in a world that constantly pulls us outward, into endless arguments on social media, relentless comparisons to curated online lives, and the exhausting pursuit of validation. It's no wonder we often feel drained, anxious, and disconnected from our true selves. The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, remind us that true growth begins not by controlling others or external circumstances, but by mastering ourselves. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." This simple yet profound teaching encourages us to focus on what truly matters: our actions, our mindset, and our inner peace. In this guide, we'll uncover how focusing on yourself and embracing silence can lead to profound transformation. Ready to break free from the noise and reclaim your energy? Let's dive into the Stoic path to clarity, resilience, and personal growth. Part 1. Why focusing on yourself is the ultimate power. Epictetus once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These words hold a timeless truth. Our greatest strength lies not in controlling others or external circumstances, but in mastering ourselves. Yet, in a world full of distractions, it's easy to lose sight of this principle. Instead of harnessing our energy for self-growth, we often waste it comparing ourselves to others, arguing over trivial matters, or seeking validation. Consider the story of Maya, a university student who spent her early semesters obsessing over her classmates' achievements. She constantly compared her grades to theirs, scrolled through their social media profiles to measure her success against theirs, and felt like she was always falling short. The pressure was suffocating, leaving her overwhelmed and disconnected from her own goals. One day, a professor's casual comment shifted her perspective. "You can't run someone else's race. Focus on your own lane." Inspired, Maya began redirecting her energy toward improving her study habits and setting personal milestones. By the end of her degree, she not only outperformed her own expectations, but also discovered a sense of fulfillment that comparison had stolen from her. Why do we so often fall into the trap of comparison? Psychologically, humans are wired to seek connection and validation. From an evolutionary standpoint, comparing ourselves to others was once a survival mechanism, helping us assess our place in a group and adapt to social norms. However, in today's hyper-connected world, this instinct has spiraled out of control. Social media platforms magnify the illusion of perfection, presenting curated highlights that distort reality. The result? A constant cycle of dissatisfaction, where our worth seems tied to how we measure up against others. But here's the liberating truth. Focusing on yourself breaks this cycle. When you channel your energy into personal growth, you begin to reclaim your power. Imagine pouring water into a leaky bucket. It's futile, no matter how much you add. Similarly, comparison drains your energy, leaving little for what truly matters: building your skills, nurturing your passions, and achieving your goals. To truly harness the power of self-focus, it's essential to shift your mindset from external validation to internal progress. Start by identifying one area of your life where you've been overly focused on others. Perhaps it's your career, relationships, or physical fitness. Ask yourself, what would happen if I redirected this energy toward my own growth? The answer might surprise you. By focusing inward, you're not ignoring the world around you. You're strengthening your foundation so you can engage with it more effectively. Consider the benefits. When you focus on yourself, you gain clarity about what you want and what truly matters. You stop chasing superficial goals imposed by others and start pursuing what aligns with your values. This clarity fuels motivation, making it easier to stay consistent and resilient. Moreover, as your skills and confidence grow, so does your ability to inspire and uplift others, not by comparison, but by example. For instance, think of Alex, a graphic designer who used to spend hours comparing his portfolio to others. He often felt inadequate, doubting his creativity and potential. One day, he decided to focus solely on improving his craft. He enrolled in an advanced design course, dedicated an hour each day to practice, and even started experimenting with new styles. Within months, his work gained recognition, not because he sought approval, but because his dedication spoke for itself. Alex's journey demonstrates a key Stoic principle. Progress comes from within, not from the fleeting applause of others. If you're wondering how to begin this transformative journey, start small. Set achievable goals related to a skill or interest you've always wanted to develop. For example, if you've been meaning to learn a new language, commit to 10 minutes of practice each day. Or, if you've been neglecting your health, start with a short walk every morning. The key is consistency. Small, deliberate actions compound over time, creating meaningful change. Another powerful tool is journaling. Each evening, take a few minutes to reflect on your day. What progress did you make? What challenges did you face, and how did you respond? This practice not only helps you track your growth, but also deepens your self-awareness. Over time, you'll notice patterns in your thoughts and behaviors, enabling you to refine your approach and stay aligned with your goals. As you embark on this journey, remember that self-focus isn't selfish, it's essential. By prioritizing your growth, you're better equipped to contribute to the world around you. Imagine trying to pour from an empty cup. Without nurturing yourself, you can't effectively support others. So, what's one area of your life where you could focus more on yourself? Perhaps it's developing a skill, building healthier habits, or simply taking time for self-care. Whatever it is, how might this shift improve your well-being? Share your thoughts below. Your insights might inspire someone else to take the first step towards self-focus. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." The choice to reclaim that power is yours. Instead of scattering your energy on things you can't control, channel it toward becoming the best version of yourself. You might be surprised at how much strength you'll find when you stop looking outward and start looking within. Part 2. The Wisdom of Silence. Epictetus famously said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." In a world dominated by noise, arguments, endless opinions, and ceaseless distractions, this simple reminder carries profound wisdom. Silence isn't just the absence of words, it's a tool for growth, clarity, and self-mastery. By staying silent, we conserve our energy, avoid unnecessary conflict, and cultivate the ability to truly observe and understand the world around us. Consider Jacob, a marketing professional who loved engaging in online debates. His evenings were often consumed by hours of back-and-forth arguments on social media. At first, it felt invigorating, proving his point, gaining likes, and asserting his opinions. But over time, Jacob began noticing something unsettling. The stress from these interactions seeped into his daily life, leaving him irritable and distracted. One day, after yet another fruitless debate, he asked himself, "What am I really gaining from this?" That moment of reflection was a turning point. Jacob decided to take a week-long break from social media, using the time to focus on reading, journaling, and quiet contemplation. The result? A calmer mind, better relationships, and a newfound appreciation for silence. Why does silence hold such transformative power? Psychologists suggest that silence isn't just about refraining from speaking, it's about creating mental space. When we choose silence, we disengage from the constant need to react and instead shift our focus inward. This shift allows us to observe our thoughts, emotions, and surroundings without the noise of external pressures. In essence, silence is a form of self-control, a way to regulate not just what we say, but how we think and feel. Imagine being in a heated discussion with a colleague. Your first instinct might be to defend yourself, explain your perspective, or even argue back. But what if you chose silence instead? What if you paused, listened, and allowed the conversation to unfold without jumping in? In these moments, silence becomes a powerful ally. It gives you the time to process information, assess the situation objectively, and respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. This isn't weakness, it's strength. The benefits of silence extend far beyond conflict resolution. Studies have shown that active listening, an essential component of silence, improves relationships, enhances empathy, and fosters trust. By choosing to listen more and speak less, you create space for others to feel heard and valued. In professional settings, this can lead to better teamwork and collaboration. In personal relationships, it deepens connection and mutual understanding. Think about a time when someone truly listened to you without interrupting, judging, or offering unsolicited advice. How did it make you feel? Now, imagine offering that same gift to others. Silence, when paired with genuine listening, has the power to transform interactions. It shifts the focus from proving a point to understanding another's perspective. But silence isn't just about relationships. It's also about protecting your energy. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get pulled into arguments, gossip, or debates that drain your mental resources. Each time you engage in such noise, you expend energy that could be better used elsewhere, on personal growth, creative pursuits, or simply enjoying the present moment. Choosing silence is an act of prioritization, a way to channel your energy toward what truly matters. For example, Anna, a teacher, found herself constantly involved in petty disputes among colleagues. Every conversation seemed to spiral into complaints, criticisms, or unproductive debates. Realizing the toll it was taking on her mental well-being, Anna made a conscious decision to step back. She began practicing what she called her silence rule. If a conversation didn't add value to her life or align with her principles, she simply chose not to participate. Over time, this practice brought her a sense of peace and clarity, allowing her to focus on her students and personal goals. If you're ready to embrace the wisdom of silence, start small. Consider dedicating one day each week to mindful silence. Use this time to observe your surroundings, reflect on your thoughts, or engage in quiet activities like reading or meditating. Pay attention to how this practice affects your mood, focus, and interactions. You might find that silence not only calms your mind, but also sharpens your awareness and enhances your decision-making. Another practical step is to avoid unnecessary arguments, especially in digital spaces. Before responding to a heated comment or engaging in a debate, pause and ask yourself, will this conversation bring value to my life? Or am I simply reacting out of ego or emotion? More often than not, the answer will guide you toward silence. As you explore this practice, reflect on moments in your life where silence could have changed the outcome. Have you ever regretted saying too much in the heat of the moment? What might have happened if you had chosen to stay silent instead? These reflections can be powerful lessons, reminding us that words, once spoken, cannot be taken back. Let's take a moment to consider the psychological impact of silence. In neuroscience, the concept of default mode network explains how our brains benefit from quiet moments. This network activates during periods of rest, allowing us to process emotions, solve problems, and gain insights. In other words, silence isn't just a void, it's a fertile ground for creativity and self-awareness. And yet, silence is often misunderstood. In a culture that values loud opinions and constant activity, choosing to stay silent can be seen as passive or weak, but the Stoics teach us otherwise. Silence is not about retreating from the world, it's about engaging with it more intentionally. It's a way to assert control over your inner world, regardless of external chaos. If this message resonates with you, why not try a day of mindful silence and share your experience with us below? Reflect on the conversations you avoided, the clarity you gained, or the peace you felt. By embracing silence, you not only protect your energy, but also create space for what truly matters: growth, understanding, and resilience. Silence, as Epictetus reminds us, is a tool for listening, learning, and living wisely. It's not just about what you don't say, it's about what you choose to focus on in its place. So, the next time you're tempted to speak out of anger or react impulsively, pause and consider the power of silence. You might be surprised at the strength it brings. Part 3. The harm of comparing yourself to others. Seneca wisely observed, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Yet, in today's hyper-connected world, where everyone's accomplishments are on full display, it can feel impossible to focus on our own journey. Comparison, especially when fueled by the curated perfection of social media, is a psychological trap, one that leaves us feeling inadequate, restless, and disconnected from what truly matters. Take Clara, for example. A talented photographer with a growing portfolio, Clara initially loved sharing her work online. But over time, her enthusiasm waned as she began to compare her progress to others. Scrolling through Instagram, she would see peers landing high-profile clients or receiving thousands of likes on their posts. Instead of feeling inspired, Clara felt paralyzed. "Why am I not achieving that level of success?" she would ask herself. What Clara didn't realize was that she was only seeing the highlight reel, the best moments, carefully curated and filtered to perfection. The late nights, the rejections, and the struggles behind those posts remained hidden, just like the submerged portion of an iceberg. Why does comparison wield such a powerful hold over us? Psychologically, humans are social beings, hardwired to seek connection and validation. In prehistoric times, comparing ourselves to others helped us navigate group dynamics and improve our chances of survival. But in the modern era, this instinct has been amplified by technology, morphing into an endless cycle of dissatisfaction. The highlight reel effect of social media plays directly into this tendency, showcasing only the best moments of others' lives while leaving the challenges and complexities out of sight. This distorted view can make us feel as though we're falling short, even when we're doing just fine. The problem with constant comparison is that it shifts our focus away from our own growth and values. Instead of celebrating our achievements or working toward meaningful goals, we waste energy trying to measure up to an illusion. This creates a vicious cycle. The more we compare, the more inadequate we feel. The more inadequate we feel, the more we compare. But what if we chose to break free from this trap? Imagine redirecting all the time and energy spent on comparison toward personal growth. For Clara, the turning point came when she decided to unfollow accounts that triggered her insecurity. She set boundaries for her social media use, dedicating specific times of day to post her work and engage with her audience. With the freed-up mental space, Clara focused on refining her craft, experimenting with new techniques, and reaching out to potential clients. The results were transformative, not just in her career, but in her confidence and sense of purpose. The lesson here is clear: comparison robs us of joy and clarity, but self-focus restores them. When we stop obsessing over what others are doing and start appreciating our own journey, we create room for genuine growth and fulfillment. Marcus Aurelius echoed this sentiment when he wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." By focusing on our actions rather than external appearances, we reclaim our power and perspective. If you've ever felt trapped in the cycle of comparison, consider this. The version of someone's life you see online is just that, a version. It's not the whole story. Recognizing this truth can help you approach social media with a healthier mindset. Instead of seeing others' successes as a measure of your inadequacy, view them as evidence of what's possible. Celebrate their wins while staying committed to your path. So how can we apply this wisdom in daily life? Start by limiting your exposure to comparison triggers. This might mean reducing your time on social media or muting accounts that make you feel less than. Instead, fill your feed with content that inspires and uplifts you. Another powerful practice is to shift your focus from outcomes to processes. Instead of fixating on how your results compare to others, pay attention to your efforts and progress. For example, if you're learning a new skill, celebrate the small victories along the way. A well-executed sketch, a dish that turned out just right, or a workout you completed despite feeling tired. These moments of progress, however modest, are the true markers of growth. Let's pause for a moment of reflection. When was the last time you compared yourself to someone else? How did it make you feel? More importantly, what did you learn from that experience? Share your insights in the comments. Your story might resonate with someone struggling in a similar way. Beyond individual actions, there's also value in cultivating gratitude. When you're tempted to compare, take a step back and list 3 things you're grateful for in your own life. This simple practice can shift your perspective, reminding you of the abundance that already exists within your world. Finally, consider the power of connection. Instead of viewing others as competitors, approach them as collaborators or sources of inspiration. Clara, for instance, began reaching out to fellow photographers not to compare, but to learn and exchange ideas. This shift not only enriched her skills, but also fostered a sense of community and mutual support. Breaking free from the grip of comparison isn't easy, but it's worth it. As Seneca advised, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. Learning to live means understanding that your worth isn't determined by others' achievements, but by your alignment with your own values and goals. What's one step you can take today to focus less on others and more on yourself? Perhaps it's setting a time limit for your social media use or journaling about your recent accomplishments. Whatever it is, commit to it and observe the difference it makes in your mindset. If this guide has reminded you of the importance of self-focus, why not share it with someone who might need the same reminder? Together, we can build a community that values personal growth over external validation. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights into living a life inspired by Stoic wisdom. Your journey is yours alone. Let it be shaped not by the noise of comparison, but by the quiet strength of self-awareness. Part 4. Building resilience through self-focus. As we step further into the Stoic practice of focusing inward, we uncover a powerful truth about adversity. It isn't just something to endure, it's a tool for growth. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In this profound observation lies the essence of resilience. Challenges aren't roadblocks, but opportunities to strengthen our resolve, refine our character, and move forward with purpose. Consider the story of Emma, a young athlete training for a national swimming championship. Emma had spent years perfecting her form, building her endurance, and preparing for the competition of a lifetime. But just weeks before the event, a shoulder injury threatened to derail her dreams. The disappointment was crushing, and for a brief moment, she felt like giving up entirely. Yet, instead of succumbing to despair, Emma chose to focus on what she could control, her recovery and mental resilience. She worked closely with her physiotherapist, learned new techniques to minimize strain on her shoulder, and turned her energy toward visualizing success. Although she couldn't compete that year, Emma returned stronger the following season, not only as an athlete, but as a person who had discovered the power of self-focus. Why do some people, like Emma, rise from adversity while others falter? The answer lies in how we frame our challenges. Resilience isn't about waiting for circumstances to align perfectly. It's about actively cultivating the mindset and habits that allow us to thrive despite setbacks. From a psychological perspective, resilience is deeply connected to our thoughts and beliefs. When faced with difficulty, individuals who adopt a growth mindset, viewing challenges as opportunities to learn, are more likely to persevere. This approach aligns perfectly with Stoic teachings, which emphasize the importance of focusing on what we can control. Instead of lamenting over external factors, resilient individuals turn inward, asking themselves, "What can I learn from this? How can I improve?" But how do we develop this mindset? It starts with daily practices that strengthen both our bodies and minds. Simple habits like exercise, mindfulness, and journaling can have a profound impact. Exercise, for instance, not only improves physical health, but also releases endorphins that enhance mental well-being. Mindfulness helps us stay present, reducing the anxiety that often accompanies adversity. Journaling, meanwhile, allows us to process emotions, reflect on our progress, and identify patterns in our behavior. Let's pause for a moment. Think about a challenge you've faced recently. How did you approach it? Did you focus on what you could control, or did you find yourself stuck in frustration over factors beyond your influence? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else to view their struggles in a new light. Resilience also involves rethinking failure. Too often, society equates failure with weakness or inadequacy. But the Stoics teach us that failure is an inevitable and valuable part of life. Seneca famously said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Each setback is an opportunity to grow, adapt, and emerge stronger. This isn't just philosophical rhetoric, it's a practical approach to overcoming life's obstacles. Imagine a chef who burns a cake during a high-stakes competition. At first glance, it might seem like a disaster, but if the chef uses that experience to adjust the recipe, learn from the mistake, and create something better, the failure becomes a stepping stone to success. The same principle applies to any field: athletics, art, business, or relationships. What matters isn't the failure itself, but how we respond to it. Emma's story illustrates this beautifully. By focusing on her recovery and mental preparation, she turned what seemed like an insurmountable setback into a source of strength. Her journey reminds us that resilience isn't about avoiding adversity, it's about embracing it as part of the process. To build resilience, it's essential to shift our perspective on challenges. Instead of viewing them as interruptions to our plans, we can see them as integral to our growth. This shift requires intentional effort, but yields profound results. One practical step is to reframe your internal dialogue. For example, instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this?" This simple change in perspective can transform frustration into curiosity and despair into determination. Another strategy is to focus on small, consistent actions that build resilience over time. Start by identifying one area of your life where you feel stuck or overwhelmed. Break it down into manageable steps and commit to taking one small action each day. These micro efforts might seem insignificant at first, but they create momentum and build confidence. Let's not forget the role of community in fostering resilience. While self-focus is crucial, connecting with others who share similar values can provide support and encouragement. Surround yourself with individuals who inspire you to grow, and don't hesitate to seek advice or share your experiences. Remember, resilience isn't a solo endeavor, it's a journey we navigate together. If you're still wondering how to begin, try this exercise. Write down one challenge you're currently facing and list 3 things within your control that could help you address it. Perhaps it's seeking advice, learning a new skill, or simply taking a break to recharge. Once you've identified these actions, commit to implementing them over the next week. Reflect on how this shift in focus affects your mindset and progress. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "What stands in the way becomes the way." The obstacles we face aren't barriers to success, they are the path itself. By focusing on ourselves and embracing challenges, we develop the resilience needed to navigate life's uncertainties. As we conclude this section, take a moment to reflect on your own journey. What's one challenge you've overcome, and how did it shape you? How might embracing self-focus help you tackle future obstacles with greater strength and clarity? If this message resonates with you, share your story in the comments. Your experience might inspire someone who's struggling to see the opportunity within their own challenges. And if you've found value in these insights, consider sharing this guide with a friend or colleague who might need encouragement today. Resilience isn't built in moments of ease, it's forged in the fires of adversity. The more we focus inward, the stronger we become. So the next time life throws a curveball, remember, the way forward lies not in avoiding the challenge, but in facing it head-on, with courage, focus, and the wisdom of the Stoics guiding you. Part 5. The benefits of self-focus and silence. As we bring our journey through Stoic wisdom to a close, it's worth reflecting on the profound benefits of focusing on yourself and embracing silence. By turning inward, you reduce stress, enhance productivity, and cultivate a deep sense of inner peace. Silence, far from being a void, becomes a space for clarity, creativity, and connection with your true self. Together, these practices lay the foundation for a life of purpose and fulfillment. Let's consider Daniel, a tech entrepreneur who learned the transformative power of self-focus and silence. Early in his career, Daniel felt compelled to share every achievement online and engage in every debate about industry trends. While this gave him visibility, it drained his energy and left him feeling scattered. One day, after a particularly heated argument on a public forum, Daniel realized he was spending more time defending his image than building his business. Inspired by the principle, "Speak less, do more," he decided to step back from unnecessary noise. Daniel set boundaries for social media, carved out time for daily reflection, and channeled his energy into refining his product. Within a year, his startup gained traction. not because of loud marketing, but because his quiet dedication produced exceptional results. Why does self-focus and silence yield such powerful outcomes? The answer lies in the way our brains process information. Studies in neuroscience reveal that the brain thrives on periods of rest and reflection. Silence acts as a reset button, allowing the mind to sort through information, generate creative ideas, and make better decisions. When you're constantly distracted by external noise, your brain becomes overwhelmed, reducing its ability to think critically or innovate. Moreover, silence creates a space for mindfulness, a practice that helps you stay present and engaged in the moment. When you're fully present, you're better equipped to handle challenges, appreciate small joys, and build meaningful relationships. Self-focus amplifies this effect by helping you align your actions with your values. Instead of reacting impulsively to external pressures, you respond thoughtfully, guided by a clear sense of purpose. To make these benefits tangible, let's explore some practical ways to incorporate self-focus and silence into your daily life. First, consider dedicating 10 to 15 minutes each day to meditation or journaling. During this time, reflect on your goals, track your progress, and identify areas where you can improve. This simple practice not only sharpens your self-awareness, but also boosts your confidence by highlighting your achievements. Another effective strategy is to set boundaries that protect your mental space. For example, designate specific times for checking emails or social media and stick to them. By limiting exposure to distractions, you free up energy for tasks that truly matter. If you're working on a project, try the deep work method. Block out a few hours each day to focus exclusively on your priorities, free from interruptions. Let's pause for a moment to reflect. How has focusing on yourself improved your life? Perhaps it's helped you achieve a long-term goal, strengthen a relationship, or simply feel more grounded. Whatever your experience, share it in the comments below. We'd love to hear your journey. Your insights might inspire others to embark on a similar path. Silence also plays a crucial role in building resilience. By choosing not to react to every criticism or distraction, you conserve energy and maintain control over your emotions. This doesn't mean suppressing your voice. Rather, it's about speaking when it truly matters. As Epictetus taught, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listening, both to yourself and to others, fosters understanding and strengthens relationships. For instance, think about the last time you remained silent during a heated conversation. Did it help de-escalate the situation? Silence, when used wisely, can be more powerful than words. It gives you the opportunity to observe, process, and respond with clarity. This approach not only reduces conflict, but also earns you respect, as people perceive you as thoughtful and composed. Let's revisit Daniel's story for a moment. By choosing silence, Daniel didn't just improve his focus, he also enhanced his relationships. Colleagues appreciated his calm demeanor and valued his input more when he spoke. Clients trusted his quiet confidence, knowing it was backed by substance rather than showmanship. Daniel's journey demonstrates a key Stoic principle. Silence isn't about withdrawal. It's about intentionality. To truly embrace the benefits of self-focus and silence, it's essential to let go of the fear of missing out, FOMO. Many of us feel compelled to stay involved in every conversation, trend, or opportunity, fearing that silence might make us irrelevant. But the reality is the opposite. When you prioritize depth over breadth, focusing on a few meaningful pursuits, you achieve greater impact. Imagine a gardener tending to a small plot of land. By focusing on a few plants, they ensure each one receives the care and attention it needs to thrive. In contrast, spreading resources too thin over a large area leads to mediocrity. The same principle applies to our lives. Self-focus and silence allow us to nurture what truly matters. As you integrate these practices into your routine, remember that change takes time. Start small, perhaps by dedicating one evening each week to unplugging from digital distractions or spending a few minutes each morning in quiet reflection. Over time, these habits will become second nature, transforming the way you think, feel, and act. Before we conclude, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've taken together. We've explored how focusing on yourself and embracing silence can reduce stress, enhance creativity, and cultivate inner peace. We've seen how these principles empower individuals like Daniel to achieve success not through noise, but through quiet dedication. What's your next step? Perhaps it's setting a boundary that protects your focus or starting a journaling practice to track your growth. Whatever it is, take that step today. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. If this guide has inspired you, share it with someone who might benefit from the power of silence and self-focus. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights into living a life guided by Stoic wisdom. Together, let's build a community that values clarity, resilience, and purpose, one thoughtful action at a time. Your journey begins with a single moment of silence. What will you do with it? As we wrap up this guide, let's reflect on the 5 key lessons we've explored. Focusing on yourself, embracing silence, avoiding comparison, building resilience, and making wise use of your time. Together, these principles form a blueprint for a life of purpose, peace, and self-mastery. Greatness, as the Stoics remind us, isn't found in noise or comparison. It emerges in the quiet, consistent effort to improve yourself. It's in the small, mindful decisions you make every day, choosing to focus on your growth instead of distractions, to act with intention rather than react impulsively, and to value progress over perfection. Now, it's your turn. What's one thing you can start doing today to focus more on yourself? Perhaps it's dedicating a few minutes to journaling, stepping away from unnecessary distractions, or simply reflecting on what truly matters to you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your first step might inspire someone else to take theirs. If this guide has resonated with you, take a moment to share it with someone who could benefit from these lessons. By spreading the wisdom of Stoicism, you're not only helping others, but also contributing to a community of thoughtful, intentional individuals striving to live virtuously. And don't stop here. Your journey is just beginning. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay connected with more insights, stories, and strategies inspired by the timeless wisdom of the Stoics. Together, we'll continue this path of growth and discovery, one step at a time. Remember, the power to transform your life starts with a single choice: to focus inward and take action. So, what will you do today? The next chapter of your story awaits. Make it a remarkable one.